There is a story of Buddha when he saw on a river a boat, and there was a musician on a boat tuning his string instrument. And if he was tuning the instrument, he was tuning the instrument too tight, it was making a bad sound, too high pitch. And when the string was too loose, he was also making a bad sound. So Buddha received a big realization in that moment, because at that time he was starving himself and performing all sorts of austerities as a way of liberation. And then he realized it's not about extremes. It's not about austerities or something which is very extreme to the body or to the mind or to the heart. And in that moment he realized that the best sound that the musical instrument makes is right in the middle, neither too loose nor too tight. And therefore the same can be applied to oneself, to one's own search, to one's own journey, to be neither too loose nor too tight. So this is how a middle way approach came into Buddhism. There is another saying in Non-Duality that there is a state beyond effort and effortlessness. There is a way to be beyond effort and effortlessness. There is a place beyond happiness and sadness. There is a way to be beyond happiness and sadness. So this state, it's called the natural state. It is actually that openness where the sadness arises or where the happiness arises. And what I have witnessed with many people over the years is that there are quite many people who have luxury problems, as I call them. They have luxury problems because at some point on their journey, excitement becomes the obstacle. Too much happiness becomes an obstacle. Or staying in too much love, like in that flow of love, becomes an obstacle. And then the time comes to become more present, to become more here, exactly here. The very foundations of non-duality and a way of living beyond oppositions is to understand that every feeling has an opposite feeling to it. Every emotion has an opposite emotion. Anger and joy. Happiness, sadness. Misery and bliss. Every feeling, every emotion has an opposite feeling and emotion to it. And what happens commonly is that people tend to cling to the positive feelings and try to avoid the negative feelings. In reality, there is no such a thing as positive or negative. There is only energy. There is only energy, and that energy, in human terms, we call feelings, emotions, or thoughts. In reality, there is only energy. And the problem arises when a person is attaching to the energy when they like it and trying to get rid of the energy when they don't like it. And that's when the problems arise. When people try to attach to the happiness and keep it, they lose their presence. They lose a sense of reality. Then we say that this person is on a cloud. They lost their reality. And of course, when another person has sunk into the depression, we say, oh, this person is in a big trouble, they're depressed and sad and so on. So looking at humanity, we can see that there's a big problem with attaching, avoiding, trying to keep, trying to get rid of. And there is only energy that one experiences as feelings, emotions, and so on. So there's a saying to let what comes come, to let what goes go. Try not to keep, try not to avoid. Whatever is in the present, you can welcome it. And the greatest example of welcoming is when Buddha was visited by Maya, by the biggest troublemaker of humanity, the Maya, the illusion. And he welcomed the Maya like his best friend, like the most honored person. And the Maya got confused, why are you welcoming me like the most honored guest? And then Buddha said, because I know you. Because you are my best friend. We've been together for a long time, and now we can have a beautiful relationship. And the Maya were really confused because the Maya knows that nobody likes her. No, nobody likes her. But Buddha honored Maya as the most honorable guest. So the same way, you are your own Buddha. You are your own home. And all these feelings are your guests. They're your guests. The most common example, you're the sky, and all these feelings are the clouds in you. So, but essentially, you are this present space, this present awareness in which the guests come, the feelings come, a very loving feeling comes, a very supporting feeling comes, and then later a very opposing feeling comes. And they all come in your home, in you. You can all understand what is supporting, what is loving. There's no need to explain that. But what is opposing is actually that which you're trying to resist. There's never an intention to truly oppose you, but it's your instant resistance which creates that opposing effect. So it is your own, we can say opposition is your own resistance, is your instant resistance. If there is no resistance, there is no opposition. If there is no resistance, there is no opposition. Everything comes and goes, like in the air, flows through. some of the most challenging, we can say, dual forces are self-opposition, self-judgment, self-destructiveness, self-suppression. These are one of the strongest, biggest troublemakers in human experience. And they are unconscious resistances. Unconscious resistances. That's what they are. And of course, on a normal human level, they're very difficult because consciously you can't do much about it. Only when you go deeper into your subconsciousness, that's when you gain some power to deal with them, to deal with those apparently opposing energies and feelings. You were happy, and then boom, something came up and it threw you back into sadness or depression or helplessness. So opposition is an instant resistance. This is what is opposition, instant resistance. And it is your resistance. I'm always being about self-responsibility. It is your resistance. Now, how do we deal with that? And then how do we come actually to this non-dual way of living? Let's lay down some foundations, some ground rules. The foundation of non-dual living is to feel the feelings and to be with the energies, to feel your feelings and to be with your own energies. This is the rule number one, the most foundational base. To feel your feelings, to be with your energies. I usually ask people when they are in a challenging moment, they say, I feel this fear or this anxiety, and I ask them, so how big it is? Show me. And then they tell me their stories and this and that. I say, no, wait a moment. Show me how big is this fear? Is it this big, like half a meter big? Is it 1 meter big? Usually people say, yeah, it's around like a meter. Sometimes, okay, 2 meters, it's really big, 2 meters. The biggest ever fear and so to speak, negative energy anybody ever said was 5 meters in diameter. It was the biggest present negative challenging energy that ever one had, like 5 meters in diameter. And then I usually say that, okay, so there is a 5 meters big cloud, but you are the sky. It's in you, first of all. It's in you, first of all. And that instantly creates a realization that it creates a shift in power. It shifts the power from my fear and this is so big, and it shifts in power that actually I am bigger and it's in me. So it returns power to oneself, to you. So this is why in every meditation I always say, start with your breath and then feel your breath and feel the space around your breath. And then when you go deeper, feel the space around your feeling, your emotion, your energy. There is a reason why I always say that. So one of the ground rules of non-duality and presence and mature being or awakened being is feel your feeling, feel the feeling, be with your own energy and be fully responsible for that, to feel your own feeling, to be with your own energy. That is your responsibility. If you ever blame someone, you instantly start giving your power away. If you judge anybody, you start giving your power away. It's not wise to do that. So feel your feeling, feel your energy. That's number one. How big it is? It's not that big really, or it's this big, 1 meter, 2 meter, 5 meter, the biggest ever that I have seen. But you are always bigger. You are the home, you are the space, you are the sky, you are the emptiness, as Buddha said. So this is why Buddha can welcome anything, because he is the home. That is liberation. So everything happens in your home. And firstly, of course, you need to be with your feeling, with your energy, and only later deal with other people, because that's more complicated. If you are not present yourself, well, you can't do much about anybody else. Yeah, so non-dual perspective is to center right away in yourself. This is my feeling, this is my energy, this is what I am experiencing right now. And let me take care of that. Let me take care of that. The other important ground rule is don't be in the feeling, in the energy. And in a challenging sense, you already understand why it's not good to be in the sadness and in the energy. But then guess what everybody does? When they're in a good mood, everybody is in their happiness, is in the love, and I'm flowing. I love it, I'm flowing. Everybody forgets the ground rule and they go into the energy, into the emotion. Yeah, so the ground rules are forgotten right away. I love to be in the energy. I love to be in those nice feelings. But that doesn't serve you in a wise way. That doesn't serve your awakening. Because then you're residing in the bubble, in the river, in the energy. So even when the good times come, you still need to be more present, more here now, not to be in those nice feelings and nice energies. Of course, you will feel that it's okay. You know, I just want to enjoy myself. I just want to have fun. I need this and I need that. You know, there are various justifications that can arise. But then what happens is that you're in the energy, that you're in the feeling, and you have no power. You're not awakened. You're semi-veiled. It's nice that you're enjoying the semi-sleepiness, you know, but you're only half awake now, not fully awake. Half awake, half asleep, because you're in the energy, in the feeling. Now, feel the feeling. It sounds very simple, but it's a lot more complicated. Because what happens usually when people have challenges is that they're thinking. That they're thinking about their sadness, that they're thinking about their anger, and you know, and they're projecting things to other people. You did this, I'm sad because of you, and I'm angry because of this. So they're thinking that's a problem. And thinking can go even further into associations and of course blames and judgments and stories. And nobody solved their emotions ever through thinking. People only have created strategies of prevention, that next time when I will face a similar situation next time, I should not do this or I should not say that. Forget about it. It never works. It never truly works. You're wasting your time in strategizing about your feelings. So 95% of all the thoughts that every average human person has, it's about the feeling. 95% statistically, and scientists made an experiment, statistics, that 95% of all thoughts that people have are about their feelings. Why they keep on thinking? Start feeling. So feel your feeling is a very mature way of being. And it's a very mature way of communicating with other people. Instead of making up stories and associations, you tell another person, I feel sad. And you just tell another person what you feel. And the other person will get shocked and they say, wow, that's honest. Yeah, there's no blame, no judgment, nothing, just honesty. So you see how immediately it improves relationships with anyone. So it is your responsibility to feel your feeling, because that's the only way how you will become present and you will come into non-duality and higher levels of consciousness. Feel your feeling, be with the energy, because it's here now in you. So this is called self-responsibility. That's why presence is called maturity. It's no longer, hippie, free-flowing thingy. It's called growing up spiritually, becoming present, becoming mature, becoming responsible. It's not like, there's nothing denied, escaped, and it's becoming mature. It's becoming present, spiritually mature, consciously mature being. When you feel the feeling, when you feel your energy, and when you can, if you ever need to speak about it with anyone, you just say what you feel. Simple. There's no need for stories and justifications and associations. Yeah, whenever I meet a person, for a private session and so on, for a one-on-one meeting, usually people start talking about their stories. And then I say, so what do you feel? And that's how we always really start, that's how we start. And then we see what is actually here. What is the real thing here? So eventually we always arrive at the feeling and being with it. And sometimes in more challenging cases, a person, doesn't know what they feel, but that's okay. Just stay with it. Just be with it. You don't need to know exactly what it is. You can also just feel it and be with it. So what also happens is that when you actually feel, you are much more connected to yourself, and you are employing or using many more functions and senses that you have in comparison to thinking, because thinking is like a small wire. It's a small wire or a small stream, a small cable. That's the thought pattern. But feeling is like a big river. It's like River Ganga. It's always rich. Feelings are always rich, aren't they? They're always very, very rich. They're rich in themselves, in what they are. Now, people have also made a lot of labels for what they feel. They call a very slow and deep energy in the heart, they call it sadness. A very slow and deep energy in the heart, people call it sadness. And then there is a fiery, active energy, they call it anger. But let's stop labeling the feelings and energies. Just feel the feeling. Feel the actual energy. Many times I meet people who have big challenges, and then they say, I can't manage it, you know, it's just too big. And I say, wait a moment, let's slow down. Let's slow down and let's come to that feeling. And now let's feel the raw energy. Don't say that it's you know, fear, or it's hopelessness, or you know, loneliness and so on. Don't say those words, because they have meanings. Just let's stay with the raw energy. And how does that feel? And then they say, well, it feels like uncomfortable and something is kind of grinding, but the raw energy is not as bad as me thinking that it's the fear of survival. The raw energy is not as bad actually as my association in my mind, or my label. Because again, associations and labels have no power. You have given your power away to labels, to associations. That's why it's so bad. Because you have done it yourself unconsciously. You gave labels to all the raw energies. And then you made so many associations, justifications, connections, and meanings. And all of that has no power. There's no power in them. You can't do anything much about it. So stop thinking, start feeling. Return power to yourself. When you feel, it's not necessary to label what you feel, because again, you would be losing your power. Feel the raw feeling, the raw energy. And you will always see that that is very doable. To feel the raw energy is very doable. It's not so easy, not so difficult. Just to feel the raw energy. It's just something uncomfortable and kind of grinding and grouching and moving somewhere from the stomach to the solar plexus to the heart, and that's it. That's it. It's not as bad. It has never been as bad. Apart from all the extra layers, associations, justifications, and stories, and so on. That's why no one manages them well, because they have no power in them. But when you come back to the feeling, to the raw energy, that's where you have power. And what happens then is that as you spend doing this practice, you are actually healing in a very deep way. You're healing from the things that make you not present. You're healing from the things that took your power away. Yeah, so you're healing from those things that were never healthy for you, that you gave your power away, and that were making you less present. So you're healing them. And that's what usually happens in presence consciousness, that you do heal deeply. There's a deep, deep healing happening, like a subconscious healing happening. It's not changing my beliefs and this and no, it's not that. It's much deeper. You're healing the deep things. It's not making new habits, that's kind of also a playground, subconscious playground. But in presence, you're deeply healing from all the things that took your power away, were never healthy, and never helped you to be any more present and alive. So you're healing that. And as you are present with what you feel and with the raw energies that are here, when a certain amount gets kind of polished and processed, well, what happens usually when you're healed? You become healthier. So you become lighter. And that breakthrough into that initial lightness is called non-duality. Because now you can be present with these deeper feelings, with those deeper energies. You can be present, and that's called non-duality, because you're no longer reacting to the condition. You're no longer reacting to the condition of clinging or condition of avoiding, because you know how to feel, how to be with the raw energies. So that is the entrance to non-duality. And that is called transcendence, the very famous spiritual word, transcendence. Transcendence is not happening like, oh, I'm in the sky, now in my bliss. That's called the cloud. Transcendence is going beyond, is being with those feelings and raw energies and processing them so that you can be beyond the dual conditions of those feelings and energies. And at some point I was wondering, will it ever end, because there was one difficult energy and there was another difficult energy. And at some point, some years ago, I was wondering, will it ever end? But then instantly realized, well, I am becoming lighter. I am becoming lighter. And probably that is the sign of the progress. And then I noticed that in certain situations, I was no longer reacting, the same way. And in some, good situations, I lost my interest in these kind of fake, good things. I was just not interested anymore. And then some people who were troublemakers, I just got not interested anymore in them. Because there was nothing touching in me. It just wasn't touching me anymore. And I say, oh, they're in their story, they're doing their thing, but I'm just not interested with it. It's not resonating with me. We can say it's not resonating. Yeah. When I say not interested, it means I'm just not resonating with it anymore. Because I've grown above it. So transcendence means growing above. It's not escaping and so on. It's growing above. It means going through and above. Going through it and above. And And that's a hard work. And when you do that, then you feel that you're no longer affected, you're no longer reacting in the same way. And that's the real meaning of the word transcendence. So the spiritual terminology is a little bit fluffy. It's a little bit fluffy, you know, and beautifully presented, but the real meaning behind it is going through it and going above it, beyond it. So living beyond opposition, now we have a better idea what that means. Living beyond duality, yes, you went through duality and you felt the feelings, you felt the raw energies, and you felt how you were pushed left and right and up and down. You were like at first you were like a kite in the wind, you know, just something blows and, you know, one direction, something blows in another direction. You're like a kite in the wind. That's why it's called you know, the fools are chasing the kite in the wind, or the fools are chasing the wind, you know, because there's no meaning in it. So at first, you know, regularly humans are like the kites in the wind, you know, in terms of consciousness maturity. But then you catch the string of the kite, you bring it down, and then you put a seed in the soil, and that seed grows into a beautiful big tree over time. So this is what means transcending duality. It's a nice spiritual terminology. Oh, that sounds nice. Transcending duality. It sounds very nice, I know. And then everybody, yeah, I want to do that. And how do we do that? Well, there is some work to do. Yeah, there is something to be done. Yeah, so feeling the feelings, being with the energies. Why do we experience these dualities in our life? It's because people are in them. They're not only in those energies and feelings, but they're even more so created labels, associations, and stories, and even judgments that this is bad, this is good. And then in my story, you know, I am the hero, or in my story, I'm the victim. It's like so far from reality. You know, it's further and further and further away from reality. And that's deeper and deeper duality. Yeah, and we to return to that, to your power, is stop thinking, start feeling. It's that simple. So now you know why people are very dualistic, why they're really lost in their heads or in their feelings. They never can figure them out. So is there a power beyond oppositions? Is there a power beyond oppositions? Yes, it is you. It is your power. And to consciously return power back to yourself. Back to yourself. To recognize that every feeling, emotion is your guest. Every energy is your guest. It is your guest. It's not from somewhere, from nowhere, from who knows where. No, it's your guest. There is nothing unknown about it. What you feel is what is here. It is your guest. And people start wondering, where did this come from? Doesn't matter, it's your guest. If you have a guest in your house, it doesn't matter from where it came, it's your guest. It's sitting right here on your couch. It's already too late thinking about it, it's right here. Yeah, so everything that you feel and any energy that you are aware of, it is your guest. Now, in a larger sense, now coming to full consciousness, to absolute, this experience is your guest. Yeah, this whole thing here now is your guest. And it's so here and now that it's not even a guest anymore. It is just here and now. And it is you, in you. It's not the real you, because the real you is the openness itself. It's the awareness itself. So I'm just bridging a gap, between your understanding into this absolute well-being, that this experience is your guest. It's here now in you. And let's remove the word guest. It's here now. And it's yours. This experience is yours. This experience is guest for whom? For you. Yeah, and we were reflecting the other day that every experience is exactly for you. Every experience is exactly for you. And if it's difficult, it's here, whatever it is. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's very challenging, but it's for you. Now that's an absolute sense that all of this experience is for you, and it is you. And there's no more distance. There's no resistance of cause. There's no avoidance of cause. There's no clinging of cause. It's for you, and it's yours, and it is you. Every experience. And that's what it means, absolute. It means totally inclusive. It's all included, all integrated, all absolutely you. Not only for you, but it's you. Because there is nobody else here. There's no more distinction, separation, or distance, or any entity behind it or in it. Yeah? So that's at the highest level. So that's called a complete non-duality. But to get to that complete non-duality, complete openness, there is a path, and the ground rule is, as we discussed, it is to feel the feeling. That's how it starts, that's how it goes. And actually, the more you spend time to feel the feeling, to be with the energy, the better you will mature. That's why I can identify and know like a laser what's presently here. And many good teachers, they can do that because they spend some time to truly be with what is here now. And it's a very integrative process. So you don't need to wait until, now some of you will say, oh, I'm not yet at presence, I'm non-dual consciousness. Maybe I'll stick with my stories. No. You can start practicing from the childhood to feel your feelings, to be with your own energies. Feelings are energies. I'm just using these words. But to feel the emotions, to feel the feelings, to be with them, and don't put them in your head, because that's where you're going to get lost. Yeah, and to be responsible, self-responsible, that I feel this, therefore I should be with this, what I feel. And never put it on another person, because you made me feel like this, you did that, you did this. Yeah, so this is self-responsibility, and children should start learning to be like that. should start learning how to feel. You can always teach your children, just feel this feeling right now. It's not so difficult. Sit down a bit, slow down, and then just feel it. That's it. And this creates a very integrated being, a very responsible, mature, honest being. Yeah, so this is a maturity. It's a maturity, and you can start practicing at whichever level of consciousness you are, because that's how you arrive at non-duality. Yeah, that's how you arrive at non-duality. Non-duality also realize that it's not only the feeling and energy that is present, but who is myself, who is present. Because my identity was usually in the feeling or in the energy. I'm a happy person. I'm a enthusiastic person. I'm love. I'm love. And you always identified with feeling or with energy. And then in non-duality, you just reflect on that. Am I really this feeling only? Or this energy only? No, I'm not. And then you just stay there. I'm just here. And that there's no more identity, myself. There's no somebody anymore. Yeah, so disidentification is also an important thing in this, because that allows more openness. That's the purpose. Not to get lost somewhere, like, oh, I don't know who I am. And then you keep pondering on that. No. You are here and you're open, and that's it. There's nothing more to that. You can say to yourself, I'm open, I'm open, I'm open, but you can't lie to yourself. You can, if you mentally say I'm open, that's a mental thinking, but you can't lie to yourself, because you always know when you are open and when you're not. So you cannot ever lie to yourself if you're really open or not. So that's a good reflection. So this is the fundamentals of non-duality. And now you can understand that you can practice it from the childhood, from wherever you are now. And this practice is forever, it's forever. Feel the feeling, be with the energy, and don't label anything. And then bring the power back to yourself. So that's how you become mature and responsible, self-responsible, mature being who can be present here, and through this, going through those feelings, will no longer react on them, will no longer act them out and react on them, or say what you don't want to say, and so on, because there is a certain transcendence. So transcending duality, that's how it is. That's how it is.